And we're live. Kash, welcome back from the jungle, my friend. It's Josh, Trent, Kasim here on Educate, Inspire, Change.
Hi Josh, how you doing, my man?
I'm so excited. Like I was sharing with you before this, love is in the air. Love is in the air, man. And I know it's like one of these times of the year where, by the way, we only have less than 2 months before 2020 is done.
Yeah,
Can you believe this? Like,
yeah.
how does it feel to know that we're stepping into a new decade in less than 60 days? Like, what are you feeling about that?
I know it's crazy. Like 2010 feels like yesterday, Like
That's what I feel like.
I can remember the millennium, like as if it
Yeah.
was yesterday. It's 20 years ago now. It's crazy.
I know, man, and we're going to talk about so much on this live today. If you're watching,
Yeah.
let us know, how are you guys feeling about your step into 2020? Think about this, everyone watching. When you feel into what 2020 really is, it kind of reminds me of like the old school Jetsons or the space shows, or like the old shows where they would say, in 2020 things are going to be like this. Well, guess what, guys? 2020 is here. 2020 is upon us. So put in the comments what you're
Yeah.
feeling about 2020 and the fact that we're in a virtual video game. Stefan, hello. Sharon, hello. Hello from Chicago. Kash, tell us what you've been up to, and also describe the name of the tiger on your shirt, because it's a badass tiger right there.
I just got this the other week actually after my ayahuasca journey. So
Yeah.
it was inspired by my friend Jerry, who found out he was a tiger at Rhythmia. So that was
Oh,
quite amazing.
he found out he was a
Yeah.
tiger.
Uh, yeah,
Okay.
exactly. So I just saw the t-shirt in a shop and it resonated. I thought I'm going to buy that for my friend Jerry.
Yeah. Yeah, and this is what we're feeling right now in the collective. Is there's so much love, there's so much dark, there's so much light, there's so much
Mhm.
tension. And so you've gone through something pretty big recently, man. And it's an engagement. So give us the drop. Let us know what's going on with this engagement, how it came through. We'll link the video from EIC where you and your lovely now fiance came together in ceremony. And it's funny, just 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, Troy Casey was also at Rhythmia, and he had a reconciliation, a re-love, really, a reconnection to love with his fiance now, with his wife. So share with us, man, like
Yeah.
what came through with the medicine. We're also going to talk about the science and a lot of other things with the medicine, but share with us, man, what happened for you? Like how did the love unfold?
Sure, man. So obviously at Rhythmia, it's a 4-night process. So you take ayahuasca 4 different nights, Monday through to Thursday, and the medicine kind of changes each night. So it was her first experience on the Monday night. She had a lot to deal with, a lot to go through. So I just remember hearing her from across the Maloka, the temple, hearing her kind of almost like screams and cries and her purging, and it was a very kind of hard to hear feeling. I wanted to help, but I know that I couldn't. I know that I had to help her to kind of heal in her own time and her own process. And that in itself was quite an important lesson because we lived together. We've been together for 5 years. We're always in each other's pockets. We're always there for each other. So sometimes it's nice just to kind of give her space, her independence, where she needs to overcome obstacles by herself.
Mm,
Because sometimes we can be very, very quick to help each other, and sometimes we need to kind of almost let each other kind of overcome obstacles by ourselves. That's the best way we can grow and the best way we can learn.
yeah.
So that was like a big lesson for me from night one. Was And also, like, she had 2 cups of ayahuasca and she was going through so much pain, and then at the end of the night I saw her going up for a third cup. And I couldn't believe it. I was like, I wanted to grab her and just stop her and say, "What are you doing, girl? Like, you've had enough."
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
she'd literally been crying and spewing the whole night. But then I looked at her in that queue, and the words that came to my mind were like, warrior princess. I just kept thinking that she was a warrior because she was going up for her third cup. And even me, I had enough at 2.
Yeah.
And this was her first time. So it made me look at her in a different light. I just saw how strong she was. I mean, I already know she's strong because I've seen her give birth, but
Yeah.
it just shone a light on her, and it made me
Mm,
realize what she's there to do. She's there to heal, she's there to grow, and she was willing to do it, and she's able to do it without my help and all by herself. So that was night one. Night two, again, was very difficult for both of us, although she was able to surrender more because she kind of I knew what to expect. And then night three was a feminine night. So in night three, it was much more about enjoying and finding our own power. We spent a lot of the night dancing and just bonding and connecting. There was one beautiful moment when a song came on and I was standing at the altar dancing, and then she just appeared in front of me at the other side of the altar, and we were dancing in perfect harmony. It was just
yeah.
to the beat, to the music, and it was just a beautiful moment that we were able to share together. And I know we're always going to look back on that as the moment we kind of, our souls merged together almost,
Yeah.
And then fast forward to the Thursday night. So on the Thursday nights when I chose to have the intention of healing my heart, heal my root chakra, so that I can give love and so that I can receive love. So this is my intention on Thursday night, yeah. And it was Marie was on her moon cycle, so she wasn't able to attend the ceremony. So it was only me this time, obviously with everyone else. And this night was a very confusing night. It was a very hard night. I purged often. The type of medicine we take on a Thursday is called yahe. Yeah. So it's a form of it's a purgative, as you know. So this makes you basically purge more. So you go to the toilet more than you probably would on a Monday or a Wednesday or a Tuesday. So I spent a lot of the night in and out the toilet. And I remember as the sun rose, I was in the bathroom. The birds were tweeting really, really loud. And all week I had this affinity with birds, So as I was in the bathroom, I felt like the birds were trying to tell me something. It was really weird, And then when I opened the door, Marie was standing there. And it was really strange, It was almost as if the birds were saying, Marie's outside waiting for you. Go and get your woman, And then they say on the Thursday after the sun rises, she's allowed to enter the space, because even though she's on her moon cycle, she can enter the space when the sun's up.
Wow! So
she came into the space, and then it just so happened our friend and another couple that were there were having a shamanic ceremony. So and I happened to have my cameraman there who was documenting the whole journey, and he was allowed to film the ceremony, So it just worked out perfectly for the married couple that we could film. And then I was watching Marie as we were going through the ceremony, and I just saw her face light up, and it really filled me with full of love. And at that moment, I asked Ayahuasca to tell me what to do. I said, please use me, tell me what I should do here, because I feel like I should do something, This is a perfect set. This is a perfect setting. It's a perfect place. My girlfriend's healing. The mother of my children's here healing. I'm here healing. The cameraman's here. This couple are here having a shamanic ceremony. I feel like love is in the air. What should I do, And then Mitra was the shaman this night, and Mitra is a beautiful, beautiful soul, so strong, so gentle at the same time. I don't know if you've had him before yourself.
Yes, Mitra's powerful.
So he was there as well, and that just kind of added to the magic of the occasion. So then when we had closing circle, which is at the end of everything, after everything had calmed down, Mitra said, would anyone like to share? And it's at this moment, I just decided I was up on my knees at this point, I think. I decided I want to share. I didn't even know what I wanted to share. I just knew that something was going to come out, So one of the first things I said with Mother Ayahuasca, please work through me and help me to communicate whatever I need to communicate here, And I started talking about mine's and Marie's journey through the week. And I said how we met and how there was a lot of synchronicities during our life. For example, when I was a young child in this house where I'm sitting just now in my mother's house, I had wrote on the fuse box, Kash was here, 16th of July, 1990, whatever,
Wow.
I used to do this all the time as a child. I would just write my name and the date. And so then going back like 4 or 5 years ago when I first met Marie, we were on the phone to each other and the lights went out in the house. So the electricity went dark and I went down with a torch and I saw that date of birth and I asked her to remind me her date of birth and it was the same date, the 16th of July. So like this
I just got a chill. I just got a chill on my neck right now.
Yeah. So I mentioned this in ceremony. Yeah, I mentioned this in ceremony and Mitra said something about our children, that their souls choose their mothers before they're born. This is something I've heard a few times during my week at Rhythmia, that we choose our mothers and our mothers choose us,
Mm-hmm.
So this made me think that when Cassius, our oldest son, was born, he almost saved us because our relationship was on the rocks, We had just met. She was young. I was a bit older. Our parents weren't too keen on the idea. And I think if Cassius didn't come to save us, we maybe would have drifted apart,
Wow.
with all the pressures around us.
And that's not always the case, Kash. Sometimes kids come together and it brings people apart. But for you guys, it brought you closer.
Yeah. Very much so, yeah. And then Gabriel as well. Gabriel came a year later, and he was born at 5:55 a.m. And we kept seeing this number 555 everywhere. So we took that as another sign from the angels, just kind of stamping the nail in the coffin almost that we're going to be together forever, Yeah. It's probably a bad analogy, saying coffin, but you know what I mean.
Well, you're killing anything that isn't love, essentially.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. There you go.
That's right.
But, yeah. So anyway, that then made me think. Like as the conversation was going on and on, I said to myself, I need to honor the souls of my children, not just my children, but their souls that are eternal beings. So I said, I was on my knees. I asked Marie to stand up. I said, I'm here to honor my children. I'm here to honor their souls. I said, I'm here to honor the divine feminine energy and all the women here, but mostly you, Marie. And then I just got on my knees and asked her to be mine forever. And at that moment, she let out a wail and she just looked to the skies and started crying, you know. And it was like a beautiful moment. And I'm just so like glad we were able to all be there at the same time, because I felt like I was with my family. I felt like I was with my ancestors who are there. And the portal opens when you do ayahuasca, you know. You feel like all these energies are in the room. And we took all these photographs that night, and there's like a green ball of energy around all of us in the photographs we took, you know. I don't think that's by coincidence. I really believe there was a strong energy present in that room that night, you know, that morning, sorry. And it's just beautiful, beautiful coming together of souls, of spirits. And we had a massive group hug at the end where there was like 50 of us in one big group hug. And it was just a great celebration of love and life, you know.
Wow. Let's just pause here for a moment, and everyone can kind of feel the energy and the love that's coming through Kash right now. Because I can feel it. I can feel it in my heart. I can feel it on the back of my neck. And I think we all are here to experience this in life. And really what blocks us from this is fear, right? At the bottom of it all, Kash, like on one side there's love, on the other side there's fear. And relationships, specifically when you're parents or when you're in a very close soul union, I'm in one right now, they bring up everything, right? The best way to know yourself and to know how you operate in the love and fear paradigm is to be in a conscious, committed relationship, either with children or without. I got to ask you, man, and this is a vulnerable question, I'm sure, why did it take 5 years for you to come to this point? And why do you think the timing of this happened when it did?
Yeah. Can I be honest with you? I think I wasn't ready, and I think she wasn't ready either. I think we both had a lot of healing to do, and I think if we had got married, let's say 3 or 4 years ago, I think there's a good chance we may have had a divorce by now, you know, because we both had a lot to deal with, a lot to go through, and people kept asking me, why aren't you getting married? It sounds cliche to say not ready, but I really think we weren't ready. I think we had a lot of growing up to do. We had a lot of maturing to do, and we had to really reconnect with our souls so that we could be the best, you know, the best parents and the best lovers and the best partners for each other, you know. And I think that I said to Marie, everything that we've done in our life has led up to this moment, to us both being under the stars on ayahuasca at Rhythmia, together with our friends and our family and all the shamans, and it really felt like it was a divine moment, you know. So I just felt like I feel like I did it the right way, you know. I think if we had done it any sooner, it maybe wouldn't have worked. So everything is perfect, you know. Even all the bad stuff that's going on, it's perfect.
Yeah, the divine timing of everything is unfolding. And I feel like my work, and you guys watching, let us know, do you ever get the sense that when you force things, when you white knuckle, when you have to have things work out a certain way, that's when the universe gives you the contrast. And it's like this balance between the hustle and the flow. We all feel this, right? Like, are you guys watching, are you in a time in your life where you feel like sometimes you don't know when to go into hustle or when to go into flow? There was something about the way that you and Marie got here that allowed the flow to come through. Like, what emotional work were you both doing before you went to the ceremony? Like, what was your prep for the ceremony so that the love could come through? And do you think that's even important, by the way? Do you think doing work before a ceremony is important, or will the medicine just work regardless?
No, I think your intention and where you are in your mind is very important, because I think it's like medicine, almost like a dance. It works with you, you know. And if you're not open, and your heart isn't open and your mind isn't open, the medicine finds it hard to work with you, you know, or harder to open you. Yeah. So I think it was important for me to have already been to Rhythmia twice. So my heart was already opened, and I think it was important for Marie to come to Rhythmia and with the intention to heal, so that we could both enter into this dance of love together, you know. Because I think intention is a very important thing, you know. Like I've said it many times in the past, that going into an ayahuasca or a plant medicine ceremony without intention is like being lost at sea without a compass, you know. So having that compass just gives you that sense of direction, and the medicine kind of almost repays your energy and repays your intention, you know. And like you go through a lot of pain, a lot of purging, a lot of hard stuff that you have to come through, but the reward at the end of it is limitless, you know. I'm still feeling the rewards today, you know. But I remember during the ceremony when I was being sick at one end and I was in the toilet at the other end, and I was just wishing that it would end. I was saying, please end. Like, it felt like hours and hours and hours of constant purging. But then, like, ever since then, I've just been experiencing total bliss and happiness and love, and so the rewards are worth it. And this is going to continue onto my children. It will continue for the rest of my life,
Yeah.
and beyond. So it's like it's like the warrior's path. It's very, very difficult. Not many people choose it, but the ones that do choose it and go through it with the right intention, with the right devotion, they come out the other end glowing. And that's how I feel.
That's so beautiful, man. I just got this analogy that just came through, and I've heard it before. And speaking of the warrior archetype, in the olden days, the warriors would use a bow and arrow. So if you as a human being are an arrow, the further you pull back the bow, the more tension, the more pain, the more suffering that's being released, whether it's in 3D world here in real life or in a ceremony, the further back that the bow is pulled, when that arrow finally is let go, it shoots so far, depending on how much tension, how much grit, how much growth that we've gone through.
Yeah.
And I know we all can feel this. Like, you guys let us know watching, haven't you ever gone through something where you thought maybe it felt like you were going to die, right? Like it literally felt like you were going to die, or it felt like you were going to lose someone you loved, or maybe you did lose someone that you loved, and it created so much pain and so much suffering. And I think about all the different faiths in the world, Kash, and even the way that the medicine brings us to it. We've talked about this before. When it comes to suffering, when it comes to learning lessons and being in the medicine, being in that vibration, if we can come to the medicine, if we can choose to come to the medicine with the heart of a child and the mind of a warrior, that's when beautiful things happen. And how is that a perfect mirror, man, for our life? If we can be like in relationship with the heart of a child and the mindset of a warrior, if we can go out into public with the heart of a child and the mindset of a warrior, that's where the magic happens. And there's a lot of people talking about this right now. Yes, the energy coming from you, Kash, is what's needed right now. Positive energy and influence. Yes, we all need to surrender to the universe at times. What's up, Jennifer? Jennifer Sedini says, death is a stripping away of all that is you. The secret of life is to die before you die and find that there is no death. Wow. I mean, Jennifer is dropping some warrior wisdom on the live today. What do you feel about this, man? We talked about the bow and arrow. We're getting pulled back, us going through the tension and the suffering.
Yeah.
How do the people watching, and how are we as warriors with hearts of children living this path, not just in medicine, but like, how do we navigate this space and keep that heart and keep that mind? How do we do both?
Yeah, I feel very strongly about this because a lot of people that are on this path of plant medicine, they're there to heal. Yeah. So, they must have been through a lot of trauma in their own life or hardship in their life in order to want to get onto that path.
Yeah.
So when I'm standing at Rhythmia and I'm looking at this line of people who are queuing up to drink their cup of ayahuasca, it reminds me of almost like back in the day during the Roman wars, when lines of Roman soldiers would be queuing up to go to war. That's what I felt. I felt like we were almost like warriors queuing up on it, but it's a different kind of war. It's an evolved war. It's a spiritual war that we're on, and we're healing ourselves. So and it's a beautiful feeling to be on this path with other people, and I really feel like all the hardship I've been through in my life, not being able to see my first child, suffering depression, being involved with gambling, drug abuse, all these issues really kind of are like me. That was me stretching back the bow, as you said, and it gave me the fire, it gave me the desire to really heal because I had to heal, and because I've been able to heal so much, I'm now equipped to embark on this plant medicine journey and to do it with the strength and the conviction that is needed to really grow, because I've been on plant medicine journeys, and sometimes there have been people there who maybe are just there because they've heard about it through a friend, and they're there to for the journey, and they don't really understand the concept of healing, or they're not there with the right intentions. And I've seen them come up against a lot of friction. They'll have some bad nights, and they maybe will walk away feeling a bit lost and a bit confused. So I really feel like you need to feel called to the medicine. You need to feel like a desire to heal. You need to feel very strongly that you're on this path and that you're not going to stop and you're not going to let anything get in your way, And only then will the medicine really be able to work through you, Because sorry to interrupt you there, I've got lots of friends who want to do the medicine, and all I say to them is, when you feel called, don't just come because it looks cool or because you see me doing it. Come because you feel called to it. Come because you have something that you really need to heal and you really need to deal with. Because when you get into that room with ayahuasca, it's just you and Mother Ayahuasca, and no one else is going to help you, So you need to be really, really prepared for that spiritual journey,
I heard once in an emotional intelligence training, no one's coming to save you. And that's true.
Yeah.
And that's kind of
Yeah.
scary, isn't it? You guys watching, like, to know, like, oh my God, you mean it's just me looking out for me? That's the beauty of it all.
Hmm.
Because check this out. If we choose to be within ourselves and to inhabit ourselves and to do our self-love work, that's really when there's never an abandonment, there's never a loss, we're never alone, and we're never not loved, because that's the real truth anyways, man. And I know all of us can feel this. Like, you guys tune into that right now. No matter what you're doing, you're always loved and supported. That's the real fucking truth. You're always loved
Yeah.
and supported. And when we go to these experiences, they remind us powerfully of that. They allow us to connect through that vibration of love with other people. But when we come back, Kash, when we get the lessons, when we get the downloads, and then we come back to the 3D world, that's the integration. Like, that's where we put love into action. That's where the tires of love hit the road, and we actually get to drive our love forward. How are you doing that now?
Yeah.
We talked about this, I think it was earlier this year when I got back from RHYTHMIA. The integration process, the integration. This is where we embody everything, man. This is what I talk about on Wellness Force: the gathering, the application, and then lastly, the embodiment. How are you going to do this? How are you feeling about the embodiment process of what you've learned? I mean, obviously you're engaged, so that's part of it.
Yeah, big time. So I think this has been the first time where I've been integrating with someone else. So Marie's here with me. So I've noticed we both had to give each other our own space, Even although we just got engaged, we're flying high. It's important for us to both process our own journeys together, because she went through a lot in her own mind. I went through a lot in my own mind.
Yeah.
So we're both dealing with that, and we're kind of there for each other, side by side, but we're not in each other's space too much, And I think it's important to give yourself time to yourself, to practice kind of daily practices. For me, like, I'm trying to eat as healthy as I can. I'm trying to stay in touch with nature as much as I can. So going for walks, just exercising. I'm trying to get into breath work more and do yoga. So all these kind of daily practices really, really help with the integration process. For me, there's like almost an urge to lower my vibration. I almost want to pig out on unhealthy foods. I almost want to go out and have a beer. That there's these urges you get because you feel like you're vibrating so high. You just want to do something that brings you back to what you know to be reality.
Yeah.
So like, I'm trying to fight and resist those urges, and I find that every time since I've been to RHYTHMIA, because I've been 3 times this year, it's getting easier and easier to resist. The first time I remember I was straight back out drinking with my friends within a week. So it was kind of like a very confused state I was in. Whereas now I'm able to resist more. I've got more strength to kind of silence that egoic voice, and I'm listening more to my soul and more to my inner child, And also for me, I've got quite a big journey coming up ahead. I'm doing a boga in 3 weeks. So like, I'm also in that mind space where I know I've got something big to do in 3 weeks. So that's kind of helping me in a way, because it's keeping me on the straight path and the narrow path, that where I have to kind of stay focused. I have to keep my intention strong, and I have to kind of be healthy and keep my mind and my body and my spirit in alignment,
Yeah.
So like, I'm looking forward to doing that in 3 weeks. I'm also very nervous as well. I don't know, have you ever done a boga before, Josh? I haven't found out.
No, I haven't, because like you said, I haven't felt the call. And even this year too, like, I love that knowledge. So for everyone watching, we're talking about how ayahuasca heals our hearts, how it allows us to give, and most importantly, to receive love. It's a skill, it's a skill that we're all born with. We have this kind of this embodiment as we're a baby. We come into the world loved, able to give and receive love. And then we go to these ceremonies and they just remind us of how we came into the world. But like you said, if we're not called to that space, if it's not something that really pulls us, think about this, you guys, the energy of pushing versus pulling. Have you ever felt like you want to push yourself to get better, but you can't do this in real life? You can't push yourself to love yourself. You can only get pulled to love yourself. Pulling and pushing are opposing forces. So like Iboga, it hasn't called me. Ayahuasca has called me, psilocybin has called me, breathwork has called me, all these different things call me. But at the end of the day, man, and I know people watching can feel this, if you're just trusting that intuitive hit that you get, you love somebody, or when you want to do something in life and you get like a little flutter in your heart or in your stomach, that light feeling, that fun feeling, that's the path. That's like our intuition or God or the universe or higher intelligence. That's the seed that's being planted for us. So for you with this Iboga, you felt something. You felt like a little flutter in your heart. You felt something come up that's directing you that way. And by the way, we've already gone for like over 30 minutes. So at some point we have to say goodbye until we do this again. Yeah. But this is why I love doing these organic conversations. We don't plan these. We just jump on and we just attune to what's coming through. Yeah. Give us parting guidance, man. Tell us, for people that are interested in doing their self-love work, that are feeling pulled, not pushed, but pulled to their self-love work, How are you mirroring that, and where do they go? What do they do?
Sure. So, like, obviously, like a lot of my journey, I've been interested in documenting what I'm doing and sharing my journey with others because I think it's very important to, especially people where I live in the UK who don't know much about plant medicine, to educate them on what plant medicine is, to give them comfort in knowing there are places where you can go in the world that are very safe environments where you can heal. You know, so for me, I feel like it's a call, almost like a call to arms. We've been talking about this spiritual path. I feel like 2 or 3 years ago, the medicine was calling me. I was watching videos by Joe Rogan, by Graham Hancock, and all these Terence McKenna, and all these amazing people,
Yeah.
and they were almost like calling me to do the medicine. You know, so I'm trying to find my place in the world where I'm trying to use my energy and my spirit and my platform to call others to do the medicine. You know, so like I just want to like kind of keep doing that, and I want people to kind of keep researching for themselves. So it's important that you watch YouTube videos, you read books, you learn about the medicine, you learn about different retreats, you find the right kind of shamans that are in it for the right reasons. You have to really do the research and do it diligently because it's important that you do this in the right place, in the right set, in the right setting, in the right way. And if you feel at all interested, just reach out to people that have done it before, ask their advice, ask their opinion, and I'm sure that you'll be pointed in the right direction because everyone that does plant medicine, it's like they've been opened up and they just want to share the message of the plants. You know, they just want to share truth. So none of them have ulterior motives. They don't want to make money out of you. They're just there to kind of spread love and spread healing, you know. And I think it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. I'm very privileged to be on this journey. I'm privileged to know you, Josh, and to know everyone else associated with the plants and with Rhythmia and with everywhere else. It's just a beautiful time to be alive. I'm really excited to kind of continue to grow. I'm going to be, as you know, we're working on my podcast, so I'm going to have guests like Graham Hancock on soon as well, which is a big thing for me, you know. So like I'm just looking forward to spreading the message more and more in the months to come.
Yeah, and we're excited to be on the journey with you, man, because I look at the space that we're in, this conscious media space, and there's nothing but abundance. Mm-hmm. You know, there are 7 billion people in the world. Have you guys ever been in a plane and you're flying over a city and you're like, damn, there's a lot of people there? There's hundreds of thousands of those just in North America alone. So think about how many people in the world can receive medicine. And whether it's plants, breath, or just something that's attuned to love, this is really the path that we're on, man. So there's a bunch of questions. We're going to go through and answer these at the end. Somebody had, Lynn Marie. What's up, Lynn Marie? Lynn Marie had a question about why women can't go into ceremony if they're on their moon cycle. We can answer that when we're off. Jennifer asked if you're going to try Bufo. Chikirda says he has a Scottish accent. I know, it's a beautiful accent, isn't it? So yes, Kash, thank you for what you do, man. And it's an honor to just have these conversations, to just be in commune, to be in sacred commune with you, man. You guys go to the top of the podcast here, or top of the link here. We're going to post a link for you to get more involved and to have deeper conversations. This felt like a podcast, and those are the best ones where we just capture a conversation. Kash and Josh are saying goodbye. Thank you so much for what you do in the world, man. And congratulations on your engagement.
Thank you, brother. And your relationship as well is beautiful, by the way. Congratulations for that.
Hey, thank you. Yeah, it's definitely a learning and expansive experience because that's what love does. Love just expands. So we'll talk to you guys soon.
Sorry, bro. Take care.